Hey guys, welcome back to another Over the Age podcast, the official podcast from the School of Communication and Creative Design from Segi University, Kota Damansara, where we actually dive in and explore problems or even issues in the Gen Z regarding communication, design, as well as culture in Malaysia. Before we start, remember to actually follow our socials on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify as well at Over the Edge underscore SOCCD and Over the Edge podcast on Spotify. Also, to update you guys, please stay tuned because Apple Podcast is actually coming soon. Today's topic is going to be about sustainability. And I think as Gen Zs, we actually don't know or we are not educated enough on sustainability. So, is it the truth or a myth? Today we have in here with us people who I wouldn't call them people, but actually experts on sustainability. So let's welcome Miyasaka, 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 as well as Ken Jin from Dot Bungkus.
Mm. Hello, glad to be here. Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
It's actually a big pleasure to actually have you guys and your time on the set as well, right? And I can feel like you guys are kind of like still rough. Please don't feel that it's too formal.
Yeah.
It has to be casual and stuff. So let's start from introducing what you guys do and how did this whole thing. I think I will give it to Kenjin to start.
Yeah, sure. So, dot bunkus or bunkus, if someone has pronounced that before. uh, we're actually a recycling design company, and we specialize in using waste material, using the wonderful universal skills of design, transforming them into beautiful products. And yeah, we hope through these creations that we do, we change people's mindsets and be that spark of change and how they deal with their relationship with the environment and the waste that they produce. I guess we've been running for what is this, 4 years
4 years.
It feels like forever, honestly. But if you want to talk about how it really started, um, of course, that 4 years ago, it's when we first started, it was only three people. Even Mia wasn't in the picture back then. It was me, Pamela, and Jace Izumi, two of our the co-founders. We were This was during the height of the pandemic, and of course, I think when given that space to ponder life's greatest questions and all, you start wondering what do you do your day to day and how do you want to be better. Think when you said that how Gen Z is, I disagree. I don't think Gen Z is ignorant. I think the latest generation has so much access to knowledge, and I think they're the most informed of all generations actually. But the scary thing is, when you're informed, you're just faced with such big challenges and problems, and you feel like, what can one person do, right? And I think that's what I notice in the Gen Z. It's like all the problems out there. You're given live information and data, but these challenges are so big. What can you do about it, right? So I was feeling that way too when we started the company. I just want to do something positive in my everyday life that brought change, and even if it's a small step, I was happy to do something like that. We were doing farming before Bungkus came to be. I was volunteering at a permaculture farm in TTDI. We were hidden on a slope kind of scenario. I was just doing after my corporate job. And yeah, Pamela and Jace, they are my mentors and seniors. They've gone through a lot of businesses, artistically as well, even design. And yeah, they gave me some ideas and like, why don't you start a business? Why don't you do something positive? They saw a lot of potential in me, more than I could see myself. And I asked them the same question I think anyone will ask. Like, I don't have money. How do I run something or grow something so sustainably in the first place, right? Without some sort of capital injection. And she being the break out of the box kind of thinker, she was like, well, we'll figure it out. Let's find things. And yeah, waste was something that was everywhere. As I think in the region or even Malaysia, we just see garbage littered everywhere. And the whole idea of using that as our material for design was just so straightforward. Like, you can't buy expensive fabric. Mio came from more fashion design
I
background.
studied fashion
Yeah.
design. Yeah.
So you would know like how
It's so
expensive.
expensive. If you don't have a lot of money, it's so hard.
So it
Yeah.
runs on like consumerism and like the upper budget, upper
Mm.
pay group, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, college is like you have to buy fabrics to do it. Like it, because you need like meters and meters of like fabric. So you have to buy it. You can't like find upcycling, like using like thrifted clothes to like make your project like assignment. Yeah, that's not like, yeah, that's not really allowed in a way. I mean, it doesn't allow you because there's not enough material, but yeah, it's expensive.
So I did some like background checking and I found that you were the co-founder and Mio is the head of design. Right. So for Mio, how do you actually figure out like I'm going to come up with this design? And because like when we are talking about brands or like fashion or accessories, the competition is quite tight. So how does your design make Dot Bungkus different from other maybe sustainable brands in the global market?
Mm, I wouldn't say our designs are, I mean, our basic line, our designs are really simple. And I want to keep it simple because I want to make it very practical and functional. Doesn't have to be too complicated. But how I take my designs and make it a little bit more different, I guess I really focus on the quality of the material. So I spent about like 1 year just researching and developing this soft plastic material that we have today. It's really different from when we started, and the quality we have today is completely different. Even today, we're still like trying to make sure how can we improve it. It's good already, but is could we make it even better? Yeah, so we experimented with like the sewing technical parts of the sewing, like different ways you sew this line first and then this line first. It holds differently compared to doing it the other way around. So we spend like that much detail and experimenting just sewing detail, like if one stitch first and then the other stitch. So yeah, I think that's what kind of differentiates us from like everybody else. Just a lot of the attention to detail we put into the products.
So like when I was looking on the website, I noticed like the brands are almost priced on tier with like big brands, with branded items, right? So it made me think if the if I could recycle a normal recycling bag, then why must I pay so much that price for a brand like Dot Bungkus where we don't really know, we are not really educated or not aware of that brand until we actually hear. So I would like to hear from your point, like as from the founder and as from the design point, what is actually the selling point that we actually need to be aware of so that it makes us feel like this is an investment and it's not just saving, our planet, but also it tells us that hey, we can actually go on with this bag.
Yeah, I think pricing is a slippery slope as well. You will always find brands more expensive than us. I mean, if you put us next to Balenciaga, we're like a deal, right? So I guess the thing is, I think we all know when we support fashion brands how cost is probably like 10-20%, right, of what we're buying. And where's the remaining 80% going? It's going for creative vision. It's going for how they like work out a great theatrical show at the end of it to show people what the brand stands for. And I think our processes and all that don't even cover like 50% of the way. I think like a lot of our creative execution comes from just doing the bare bones, because a lot of it's in the process. When people pay for like a bunkus product, it covers us going there, taking this waste material, cleaning it, because this plastic isn't financially viable for actual recyclers to touch. So that's why we came in to actually process it. That's how Bunkos has been doing it from the start. Like we're using creativity to cover the cost of speaking to people about their waste, collecting it, bringing it back to our facility, educating people more about it. And I think if people can get behind that and the faces behind Bunkos, I think that's our main appeal, a pitch to people. Like you're not just paying for the bag at one time. You're paying for people like us to continuously work in this space, making better, cooler designs, making it a bit more durable as well, so that it can really function as a long lasting bag. Yeah.
And also researching, getting other kinds of waste material and researching how we can upcycle that into more things. Yeah.
I see. All right, so here's like a little funny question I thought about it because bungkus is like to wrap, right? So what is harder, thinking of the design or wrapping a nasi lemak?
I don't know how to wrap a nasi lemak, so I think that might be harder. I think that might be harder for me. I mean, I open one and I want to rewrap it. I'm like, how did they do this?
Right, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
No, but I think sometimes both those processes are the same. Like when you unwrap like a nasi lemak, you're like, oh, that's how you turn a flat banana leaf into a triangular pyramidal form. It's basically sometimes how we do designs as well.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, wait, Mia, what if we try? And then there we go. It just becomes a bag after.
So that's like how your bags come out. Like you sort of like play with material and you're like, hey, I could wrap this. This could be a pasar malam bag, or like I wrap this and this could be a passport bag. So that's how your design comes about.
Yeah, so like my creative process usually, um, even like a milk carton. Actually, one of my bags was inspired by a milk carton, because like we want to I mean, we also recycle our own like day to day things that we consume. So like we wash our milk cartons and we like open it up and dry it. So one time I was opening it up and I'm like, oh, they actually did it like this. And I'm like, what if I could sew this and then get this shape? Or if I want something a bit more complicated, or if I want to learn new or learn like techniques that I can't find online, or like I'll go to a thrift store and I'll find an interesting bag and I actually unpick everything. I put it out and then I can understand the pattern pieces and then I'll like resew it back together. And then I just like learned a new technique. And then from there I can like see how can I use this new technique and then like apply it to like a new design.
I see, that's very interesting. So on the part of sustainability, right? We often like for people who are less educated on what sustainability is, we would usually correlate it with charity. So when we are talking about sustainability from a business point, how does it actually benefits the consumers? Because I would think that hey, if you want to do something good for the earth, why are you profiting from it? You get what I mean? Yeah. So I would like to hear from your points. Like what is your perspective on sustainability in the market and why and what is the misconception that Gen Zs or like other generation groups have?
Hmm.
I think the very profit margin like a traditional company will be enjoying is actually cost that needs to be paid out to the environment that they're not paying for. So when you order something from Shein, you are not actively paying for the cost of hiring someone and paying them fair wages. How whether this factory is set up in a place that doesn't just deal with waste very irresponsibly. So I think that's something that people need to understand as well. To be truly sustainable requires a lot of costs that a lot of companies have decided to cut down because they've gotten away with it. Yeah. If a factory can like deal with like, let's say some a factory that deals with milk or something and they just throw whatever excess they have into the river, that is something they're not paying for the responsible waste management of it. And yeah, it's giving them money because they cut a few corners. And we are trying to not cut any corners in the process. And I guess it's a bit tough to a tough pill to swallow, I guess, because we're so used to things being so cheap. Yeah. And yeah, I think having changing that mindset is something that's a bit difficult, if you ask me.
Yeah, we have like so when we make our bags, right? Like
Yeah.
the like let's say we make this sheet of fabric and then we cut out the bags, but you'll obviously have the offcuts.
For the layman terms, how do we say off cuts?
Is it like the excess fabric, like the excess small pieces you get from the after cutting the main parts that you need. So we have 4 years worth of these offcuts just hoarded in our workshop. Cause I mean, like Ken just said, like a milk, like the milk factory, they'll just dump it into the river. Yeah, that's like cutting costs. Where we don't do that. I mean, obviously you shouldn't, but we like hoard it in our workshop instead. So it's really difficult to be sustainable as a business. It's expensive because you just need more storage space as well.
So is that why the price is also like marked up a lot on the because of the process?
The process, yeah. I mean, mainly the process because um the so when we clean the plastics, we need to use water to wash because I mean these are really dirty plastics that we get. That's why the recyclers don't want to bother with them because they're not clean. So we have to clean them, and the cleaning process is really, really labor intensive. And then we have to wait for it to dry as well. Sometimes drying it with a towel, it takes a lot of time as well. So we have to dry them, hang dry them. Also, we our bungkus like slogan. It's Earth Care, Fair Share, People Care. So our fair share, like we make sure everybody gets a fair cut out of whatever process you do. Everybody gets a fair cut. Yeah.
So the everybody is like your team gets a fair share.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So um the sustainability market, I know it's booming like overseas, right? But in Malaysia it's actually struggling to swim to survive from my point of view. So I would like to get your perspective on like when we are talking about sustainability in Malaysia, do we actually see a market booming here, or are we actually on the brink of going into the market and actually dying and not being able to carry on with it?
Mm, I think true sustainability is fragmented in the first place. I think if success is monopolized or just stays within a few people or a few companies, it's not true sustainability. I think you were even talking about how do you support local, for example. There's so many levels of local out there, you know, there's like Mr. DIY, that's like as local as it gets, right? But what about the mom and pop pachi store down the road? Um, I feel like sustainability doesn't it's more like a mushroom, you know, like a fungal network of sharing resources and being very conscious about where you're using it and where is it going away. And I think we don't see success in that way in sustainability, at least for Malaysia's sake. For us, if we have to find an advancement in the scene, if people are doing a lot more to their craft or to their processes, there's a lot of invisible things that happen in our day to day that we feel like gives us a bit of hope as we're doing our jobs. We understand sometimes when our card wallets are priced like what 80 ringgit, 90 ringgit, the everyday person might find some difficulty in purchasing it. Yeah. Well, I mean that's why we're trying to strike a nice balance between like affordableness and I think so far, just having to also hold our ground and saying, you know what, we can't give off our goods at such a cheap price as well, because sometimes when we're doing production, we tend to think of make as many as we can, profit as much as we can, lower as costs as much. But at the end of the day, sometimes we have to remind ourselves as well, like these pieces were handmade, literally from like trash and turned into something treasurable. And yeah, sometimes we forget that along the way. At least I do as well, because I'm doing a lot of trying to scale the company and try to make sure that all our team members are well taken care of, for example.
So I want to ask you another question. When you happen to tell people, hey, I'm going to start a sustainable brand, did they call you crazy, especially in Malaysia?
Yeah.
I think we were doing it. We didn't tell anybody. We just disappeared and just did it.
So the moment when they saw,
They're like, "Oh, you guys are doing something. Oh, that's cool. Okay, you know." Yeah, I mean, I guess all my friends were pretty supportive. My parents, yeah, like God bless, they're very, very, very supportive of me and this business. Yeah, they even, because they own a Japanese restaurant in Penang. They actually wash and dry the plastics, and then they come and pass it to me. So they are also contributing a lot of the material for us. Yeah.
so is it safe to say that Dot Bungkus is not only just like it's not only just a company that does sustainable designs for products, but also a movement that is actually subconsciously moving the nation.
That's what we hope. That's a very generous description.
Very true.
But yes, we do. I tell people sometimes that our actual like existence or survival as a company is its statement itself. Like if we can kind of make this a career, not so thriving yet, but we're doing our best. And if in fact that we're still here for 4 years shows that yeah, it can be done. We want more people to realize that they can do something about it. You know, like yeah, we want more bungkuses. It's just that we. I'm going to be a bit more controversial now.
Sure.
I feel like for Malaysia, there's this culture of good enough, and we're trying to break that. You can't. We've met other people who've just done just enough just for the sake of doing it, but I think that's where design comes in. How can you use this vehicle of item, right, to deliver more striking message or to move people to a point that like, whoa, like I really love this. And we want that product to be like a reminder every day, like, hey, like have you done your best today to make better changes in your life? Small things like telling them, hey, telling the mama, I don't want a straw. Or I won't take away. I'll just eat it in the restaurant and leave it as that.
Chawan instead of mangkok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so we know that the Kuala Lumpur Design Festival will be coming soon on the 17th to 26th of October at Damansara City Mall. So, what is one thing that you wish that KLDF is actually, um, in what way would you want the festival to teach or like educate people based from your brand or your brand value point or principles?
I think firstly, I mean, I'm just coming from from like a production point of view, I guess. So whenever there's events, they always put the felt carpeting.
Yeah.
It's like give that to us.
Oh, you want a red carpet.
I mean, whatever. Like I know there's always the setup and the tear down.
Yeah.
I think the setup. How can all the vendors, all the exhibitors, how can you bring in your installations and your exhibit sustainably? Like don't cling wrap, or if you're gonna have to cling wrap, make sure you resend to the proper recycling places. When you tear down as well, don't just like, I mean, there's the tear down people and they just take it away and then you don't know what happens, right? Usually just, I mean, yeah, it goes into the Roro and then Roro goodbye, right? So I think how KLDF can be somewhat more sustainable, like be a bit more specific with the setup and the teardown and how everybody's bringing in their things. Maybe have like a little SOP. Yeah.
Can we expect you at the festival for this year?
Yeah. Of course.
Can we have a little teaser? Like, what are you guys going to bring this year that's going to be a bit different from like previous years?
Mm.
Just a little bit.
The Tetra.
give it away too much.
Yeah, I mean the thing about design is like people are always asking what's next,
Yeah.
what's next. Everyone's so like bored, right? But I think because we make the plastic sheets ourselves, it's very easy for us to try different things, and so expect different imprints in the item maybe. We're trying to get into home and living as well, so trying to make chairs and lighting, and yeah, we've just been playing around a lot.
So there is something that we can expect.
Yeah.
All right.
Bags. Maybe one bag, but I mean, yeah, we've always been showcasing bags, but maybe this year no bags. Maybe something different.
So that means the catalog, there's going to be a new breed or like species coming out soon.
Yes.
One last question. If, let's say, because now Gen Zs are much more attracted to faces, right? What idol or K-pop idol would you take for your brand if you had the chance one day?
I'm not into idols, so I don't know idols.
We halfway watch K-pop Demon Hunters. Is that an answer?
So you would take them.
Yeah, yeah.
So in combat against sustainability.
Yeah. Against the demons of waste.
All right. So thank you guys so much again for the time. I really do appreciate it. As well, I actually wish to like talk to you more about sustainability, the design and everything, right? We hope that maybe if there's a future chance, maybe you can come back, right? So yeah, you guys, I hope you guys like this session. Remember to actually follow our socials on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, as well as our Spotify. Tune into that, and we will bring you new updates every week. The last episode for KLDF will be next week on Wednesday. So stay tuned and bye from us.
Bye bye.